जय कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय राधा वल्लभ श्री राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. Sri Sri Gauritai ki, Sri Sri Radha Bhagwan ki, Sri 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 Jagannath Bala Subhadramai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitya Gaur Pamrande. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 9. So this Canto 9 is called Liberation. So this Canto 9 contains many pastimes of Lord and the devotees, how they liberated themselves from material contamination. So that way they can be prepared for going to the next phase, which is to hear pastimes of Sri Krishna's. That is the next canto. And today's verse from the chapter 1. So this verse, when we read very detailed, so this verse actually tells about the qualities of saintly persons who are fully surrendered to Lord Sri Krishna. So each of those words speaks about those qualities, which we will discuss. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from this chapter 1, and the title of chapter is King Sudhyumna becomes a woman. And today's verse is 18. Yuyum Brahma Vido Yuktas. Yuyum Brahma Vido Yuktas. Tapasya Dagdya Kilbisaha. Tapasa Dagda Kilbisaha. Kutaha Sankalpa Vaishamayam. Kutaha Sankalpa Vaishamyam. Antratam Vibhudveshaiva. Anartam Vibhudeshvaiva. Yuyum Brahma Vido Yuktas. Tapasya Dagda Kilbisaha. Kuta Sankalpa Vaishamyam. Anartam Vibhudveshahaiva. Yuyum Brahma Vido Yuktas. Tapasya Dugda Kilbisaha. Kutaha Sankalpa Vaishamyam. Anartam Vibhudveshaiva. Try. Okay, so what to a translation? You am of all you, Brahmavidaha, completely in awareness of the absolute truth. Yuktaha, self-controlled and well-behaved. Tapasya, by dint of austerity and penances. Dugdha kilbishaha, all kinds of material contaminations having been burnt out. Kutaha, then how? Sankalpa Vaishamayam, discrepancy in the matter of determination. Anartham, false promise, false statement. Vibuddheshu, in the society of the demigods. Eva, or. Translation. Translated by Srila Prabhupada Gi. You are all self-controlled, well-balanced in mind, and aware of the absolute truth. And because of austerities and penances, you are completely cleaned of all material contamination. Your words, like those of the demigods, are never baffled. Then how is it possible that your determination has failed? Purport. We have learned from many Vedic literatures that a benediction or curse given by the demigods never proves false. By performing austerities and penances, by controlling the senses and mind, and by achieving the full knowledge of the absolute truth, one is fully cleaned of material contamination. Then one words and blessings, like those of the demigods, are never a failure. Om Ajnana Trimindasya Jnananjala Salakaya Chaksurulmatamena Tasme Sri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapadaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamini Namaste Saraswadevi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pachata Desha Tarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So if we just go back to set the context, so here is the, so this verse, actually, Shraddhadeva Manu. So he is questioning Vasishtha Muni. So how is it possible that all the yajna that we performed, he didn't produce the result that we are desiring? Of course, before that he is appreciating the qualities of Vasishtha Muni. So, as chapter says, title King Sudimna becomes a woman. So this Shraddhadev was actually also known as Vaivastaka Manu. In his previous life he was Satyavrata. So in the last chapter of previous canto, so we have a lot of discussion on how Satyavrata Muni had darshan of Lord and as Matsya Rupa, then of course how Lord has saved, and also discusses finally about how Lord has imparted knowledge to Satyavrata Muni through his heart. And then in the next life, so he became a Manu. So as son of Suryadev. So initially he didn't have children. So therefore he performed yajna. He decided to perform yajna to beget a son. So when you have perform yajna, you obviously need a head priest. And of course, if it is a big yajna, you need many other assistant priests, assistant pujaris. So in this case, the yajna was being performed under direction of Vasishtha Muni. So just before they do swaha offering, at that time the wife of this Shraddhadev so requested one of the priests, can you please pray so that I get a daughter? So this wife, she didn't request that to Vasishtha Muni. She just requested among so many priests are there, family priest. Maybe looks like one family priest was a bit more closer to the family, maybe dealing with them very regularly. So she just requested. This was not known to her husband also. So therefore when Vasishtha Muni said, so now do the offering. So at that time he remembers the request from the queen. So he says a verse. So as a result, the yajna phala was they were blessed with a baby girl. So they named her as a Ila. Initially, the king Vasishtha Manu was happy, but slowly he felt that he needed a son. So therefore, what to do? So he immediately went to his Guru, Vasishtha Muni, requested him or asked him, oh Lord, all of you are expert in chanting Vedic mantras. So how is this opposite result has been obtained? So this is a matter for lamentation. So this is usually we perform certain activity with the hope of getting certain result. So if the results are not as per our expectation, obviously, most of us will lament. So lament on so many issues. So here also, so the matter of lamentation. So she was expecting that such reversal of results would not have happened. That was discussed in depth about Prabhupada purport talks about in this age of Kali Yuga. So the importance of chanting holy name instead of performing elaborate yajna, which may not produce results because so the Vedic mantra may not be chanted correctly. So therefore it may produce opposite result. So therefore Prabhupada is recommending that we perform Sankirtana Yajna. And in today's verse, so Shraddhadev Manu, that is, so he is asking Vasishtha Muni, so by glorifying him first. So the first line, Yuyum Brahma Vido Yukta. So this yukta means one who is self-controlled and well-behaved. So in Bhagavad Gita, of course, Krishna says this yukta, regulation. So these munis, Vasishtha Muni obviously is a Brahmarshi. We all know that Vasishtha Muni is one of the highest Muni in this earth. Brahmarshi, we call him the Brahmarshi. So next, later, Vishwamutra also wanted to become Brahmarshi and became also after doing so much of austerity and tapas. So coming to Vasishtha Muni. So Vasishtha Muni is self-controlled. So how is he self-controlled? Because Vasishtha Muni is controlling what he eats, how much he sleeps, what does he do, how does he enjoy, all of them are regulated. So as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, in Sankhya Yoga or in Dhyana Yoga chapter, that is chapter 6, one of the verses, Viktahara Viharasya. So one who is regulated in eating. Then Yukta Chetasya Karmasu. So those who are also regulated in their activity. Obviously, to maintain our body, our mind, our soul together, we have to work. So that the result of which we can use it for maintaining, then of course, primarily we can use it for doing service to the Lord. So that can't be avoided. So they have to do, even if you are a sannyasi, you have to perform certain work. Even if you are a brahmachari, you have to perform certain work. So brahmachari like kids, so what is the expectation of their parents? Is that they well behaved, they get good qualities, and they study well in whatever studying they are doing. And then if you are following Krishna consciousness, they also learn how to do kirtan. Then you please the parents. Correct? Hayagriva. So Hayagriva says yes. So if he is doing nicely kirtan, now he has become expert not only in mridanga, now he is also, I see, he is doing harmonium as well. Not only that, he is also leading kirtan. So everything is already learned. Whatever necessary for the rest of the life. Yeah, so as a result, mother is pleased and father is also very, very pleased. I see sometimes his father is taking the video of son leading kirtan. That means pleased, correct? Unless if somebody pleased, why would they take the nice video? So he's very pleased. So similarly here, so regulated in our activity, then also regulated in recreation. So we also need some kind of a little enjoyment. So we also have to be regulated in that. Not always playing cricket, not always playing that whatever you are excelling at. So we need to be regulated. Then also this body needs sleeping. So we also have to be regulated in sleeping. If you sleep too less, it's very difficult to maintain the body health. If you sleep too much, also not good. So just enough. Maybe at different stage of life, as you all know. So when the babies are born, I think they seems to be sleeping more than 10 hours. 15 hours maybe. So then as they grow, so at the age of something like say 12, 13, 14, perhaps they sleep around 8 hours. Then furthermore, when they come towards higher education, maybe they sleep around 7 hours only. Then as they pass that 25 years age, then later on if they get married, so they might be sleeping 5 hours. Physically maybe sleeping 8 hours, but because of worries of how to take care of this, how to take care of that, maybe 3 hours is wasted in lamentation or thinking about this, thinking about that. Oh, I did this business that didn't work out, that fellow give me trouble. All this worry. So therefore effectively you may be sleeping 4 or 5 hours only, although lying on the bed for 8 hours. But later as you become sannyasi or a vanaprastha sannyasi, obviously some of the sannyasis, they minimize their sleeping so much less that they focus completely on Supreme Lord. And we have many examples. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami and Prabhupada, they all slept after taking sannyasa. They have slept for 2 hours, 3 hours only. And rest of the time what are they doing? Playing cricket? No, they are constantly thinking about Supreme Lord, how to serve. Or they gain so much of knowledge and they put that knowledge in the form of writing. Or, so these Sanskrit words are so difficult for us to understand. So they wrote a purport so that we can understand better. So this is a regulation. So that is Viktasya. So Vasishtha Muni is the one who regulated. And not only that, so Brahma Vidyaha. So what is Brahma Vidyaha? Brahma Vidya here, Prabhupada translated as completely in awareness of the absolute truth. So this Muni, Vasishtha Muni is completely aware of, 100% aware of absolute truth. And what is this absolute truth? So absolute truth can be understood, in many ways. So in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam itself, so we have detailed discussion on what this absolute truth is in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Canto 1 itself. chapter 2. So there, this Vedantis, those who knows the Vedas, the knowledge, the original knowledge coming from Lord Krishna, and they are also called as Tattvavadis and Atmavadis, who knows what is Atma, who knows what is absolute, what is supreme knowledge. So there in one of the verse he says, so these Vedantis are Tattvavadis, so they know the absolute truth, and they call the absolute truth as Brahmeti, Parameti, Bhagavaniti iti Shabdate. So this absolute truth is and the word is quite discussed in different forms, some shape, and different people have different understanding of absolute truth based on their ability. Just like Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, we all are reading the same Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. The understanding of Bhagavatam is different for different persons. So those who are the pure devotees, their understanding is very, very elevated. And those who are sort of beginners, or neophyte devotees, the beginning devotees, their understanding is also different. Then of course intermediate. So understanding is different. Similarly, even the absolute truth, this is also understanding different. Of course, we are living in the world of relative world. So here everything is related. In absolute truth, in one sense, even though it may seem different, but they are actually one and same. So this, the knowledge of absolute truth, the substance of absolute truth that we talk here. So this is also actually, is one, but it can be different. Just like we say Achinta, Bheda and Abheda, simultaneously one and simultaneously different. So now looking at this Brahmeti, Parameti, Bhagavaniti Shabdate. So this is what all these learned scholars are Tattvavadis, those who are Atmavadis, those who are expert, they know this. So the Lord, Supreme Lord, this absolute knowledge can realize at the level of Brahman. So this is what then you can realize at the level of Paramatma, or you can realize at the level of Bhagavan. So those who knows all three completely, so they are real Tattvavadis. So that is absolute truth. And we all know that those who knows this Brahman, so usually those who are pursuing path of Jnana Yoga, to reach the highest pinnacle of understanding absolute truth, we can go through Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, then Dhyana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, then Bhakti Yoga. So the Jnanis, so realize the Supreme Lord as Brahman, effulgence. Then those who are doing dhyana, very, dhyana, so meditating themselves in their heart, the Lord inside their heart. So what do they realize? They realize the Paramatma. And then those who are engaged in devotion, service to a person, Supreme Person, so they are realizing Bhagavan. Ultimately, slowly from Jnana Yoga, when you mature, then you transform yourself to the next level, Dhyana. Then again there you mature, perfected. From there you can go to the Bhakti Yoga. So Prabhupada called this like a staircase. You go to a Melbourne tower. The tower has almost 80-90 floors. So obviously they got stairs. They also have lift. You can take a stairs, walk for 20 minutes, you might reach 50th floor. Then walk another 5 minutes, you reach 80th floor. Walk another 20 minutes, you reach the last one. Or otherwise you can take a left from ground floor to the top floor. So this, the fastest path is called Bhakti Yoga, which is more concerned with realization of absolute truth in the form of Bhagavan. So here, Visishta Muni is a Brahmavido, so who has a complete knowledge of this absolute truth. And not only that, he has already controlled regulated in their eating and sleeping, and also they are fully regulated in self-control. Their mind is balanced. Balancing mind is also important. If mind is not steady, can you make any peaceful decision? No. Mind has to be steady. So how can mind be steady? So mind can be steady only when our consciousness is completely divine. So one who is Brahmavadi, one who has a full understanding of this absolute truth, so their consciousness is completely divine. Whether it may be concentrated on Brahman, or concentrated on Paramatma, or concentrated on Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is the highest, and so always thinking of Lord. Manmana bhava mad bhakta. So of course bhaktas their mind is always thinking of Krishna. So because their mind is always thinking of Krishna, their consciousness has become Krishna consciousness, and their consciousness is completely divine. As a result, what happens? Their intelligence becomes spiritual, adhyatmic. When the intelligence becomes spiritual, then this mind is much more steady. So because mind is working under spiritual knowledge, it is steady. When it is steady, we are peaceful and happy. So the goal of life is to be happy. So therefore, so that their mind is very steady and balanced. So that's why saying that yuktasya brahma vido. So then, as I said, this realization at different levels. So that is about the first verse. That first UM means you all are. You are all, he is referring to Vasishtha Muni and also other priests that are assisting Vasishtha Muni. So you all are self-controlled, well balanced, fully aware of absolute truth. Then he is saying, Tapad Dagda Kili Bisaha. So here tapas. So all of you are performing, austerity and penances. So by that, and also their mind is fully engaged in Supreme Lord. Engaging mind always in thinking of Krishna is not easy. Who can do that? Only those who are bhaktas. So just engaging, even if I close my eyes and simply, for example, say capture the appearance and of say Gaunita and completely thinking, initially maybe there in my mind. So if I don't fully focus, then it may look like a light, then finally it vanishes. But those who are pure bhaktas, so they can do that. So bhakta, so only who can do that? Those who are bhaktas. So that's why Krishna says, Manmana Maha Bhakta. Of course, just think of me and become a bhakta. If you become bhakta, you automatically think of Krishna, or you engage all your effort and time in that offering services. Now this tapas, so austerity. So the devotees, what are they doing? So one of the austerity is chanting holy name of God, Hare Krishna mantra. And chant how much? How many rounds? So at least chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra. So those who are completely, pure bhaktas, so they are chanting 64 rounds like Haridas Thakur. The rest are chanting 16 rounds. And of course, chanting at what time? Some of those pure devotees are chanting during Mangalarti. That is a big austerity. Getting up at say 4 o'clock and then, cleaning yourself externally, then chanting for 16 rounds. It is a big austerity. So that is the austerity they are performing. Then also they have right knowledge, this knowledge of absolute. Actually having a knowledge, just simple knowledge such as I am servant of Krishna. So as Shastra says, Jivera Surupahik Nitya Krishna Dasa. So even just that understanding is like a fire. So when we have a fire will burn. In this case, those who have this knowledge that I am servant of Supreme Lord, my duty is to engage myself to please Supreme Lord. So his happiness is my happiness. His happiness is everybody's happiness. So they have clear understanding of Yasmin tuste jagast tustaha. Means when the Supreme Lord is satisfied, the whole Jagat universe is satisfied. So that understanding, I not only understanding, realization and put it in practice. Sometimes we have a jnana, but jnana is useless unless we put that in practice. So this jnana. And what does this jnana do? So that is the next line says, tapasya dugdha kilbisyaha. So dugdha means burnt. What is burnt? Kilbisyaha. Kilbisyaha means sins. Whatever sins we might have performed in this life or previous life or millions of previous life before, all those sins will be burnt. So this tapas is like a fire, and then into the fire you throw some pages. What happens? It will burn to ashes. Similarly, when you perform this tapas, and tapas is not like going to say Himalayas or going to some Dandenong forest or some zoo, sitting there in the middle of that zoo or animals and doing some very dedicated chanting or doing some dhyana. So that is one of them. But for us it is even more simplified. For our tapas is just chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna mantra, then following these 4 regulatory principles. Itself is a big tapas for us. In this Kali Yuga, in places like Melbourne, so that is a big tapas. How many people can do? In Melbourne, there are more than 5 million people are there. Men, women, in between. So all, more than 5 million. Out of the more than 5 million, just in Melbourne area, how many are doing Hare Krishna chanting? 1,000? Hopefully. 1,000 devotees who are chanting every day, 16 rounds of chanting and following principle, and reading Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, or hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, or reading Bhagavad Gita, or just thinking positively, maybe doing some activities in Sattva Gun. So say 1,000 out of that 5 million is just like 0.0001%. Very minority, the real minority. So, but that is okay. Prabhupada said that, so these devotees are like a moon. When you watch at the sky in Amavasya, that is dark, that time you see millions of stars. We can't even count. So many stars are there. But there is only one moon. Even though there may be millions and billions of population in the entire universe, so if there is one devotee, that devotee is like a moon. So it is very important, of course, that one moon will shine the rest of the universe. The moon will give you the rasa for all the vegetables, and because of which we can survive. And because of that, it gives a taste, therefore we like to eat it. Imagine you are given an apple tastes like a mud. So you won't be able to eat it. So how is it possible? Thanks to moon. And of course, this moon is working under the direction of Supreme Lord. So you can see all other connected. So such persons who are doing tapas and then who are thinking of Krishna, obviously they are following Krishna's instruction. As Krishna says, Sarva dharma parityajya mama eka sharanamraja. He says, just forget about all the religious principles, duties, simply surrender to me. That's what Krishna is saying. Just surrender to Krishna. And what is the result? And he says, Sarva papebu mokshayam. He says, I will remove all your papa. Sarva, whatever is the papa, sins you accumulated for billions and millions and whatever, trillions of years, all of them I will remove it. Then I will liberate you. That is what this book, as I said, the title of the book is Liberation. Every Śrīmad Bhāgavatam canto, the 12 canto, each one of them got different names. The canto 7 was called Science of God. The science of God. So we have a science of everything. The science of this computer, how to make it. The science of how to make this mic. Science and engineering we say. So the science, that knowledge in practice is engineering. So you need to have both knowledge and the practice. So because of it we have all of this. Even to just, to build this building so that it can withstand, even if number of devotees dancing on top, it requires a science and engineering. Otherwise it will collapse. Nobody will want to give a Śrīmad Bhāgavatam class, or neither any want to hear also. If you know that, with very, very weak structure. No scientific knowledge is used, no engineering knowledge is used, no proper structure is done, no proper foundation is done. So it is very weak. So that science of God. So from there we transform into the next canto, and then this canto is very nicely about liberation. It gives very beautiful stories of many, many devotees, including Yayati. Later you will come across Yayati. Yayati was the one who is fully focused on Indriya Trapti, enjoying to the maximum, to an extent that his father-in-law, Śukracharya, once he cursed him, he became an old man, invalid man. Why? Because this Yayati fellow, he went and started, enjoying with somebody else. So his daughter, Devayani, was not happy. So he went and complained to the father. Father cursed him. At that time, what Yayati did? Yayati said, "Oh, this is very difficult. Oh, father-in-law, please do something. Still, I am not satisfied." So he said, "Okay. So if you can exchange with somebody younger, youthful person, you can have energy." So then he went and exchanged with one of his sons and enjoyed. But later he realized that this futility of this Indriya Tapti. He says, how much ever I try to, he is not satisfying. Then he became a devotee, then he achieved liberation. So these are like inspiration. Correct? Because at least I am still like Hayati. Still focused on Indriya Trapti. So we need, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, by speaking about Srimad Bhagavatam, we can become pure. Because we keep on speaking about Krishna's glory, keep on speaking about absolute truth, keep on thinking about Vasishtha Muni, keep on thinking about Gauranitai. So through that process, all these our sins will get burnt away. So this is what he says, Dugdha kilbishaha. I hope it is clear. Dugdha kilbishaha. And Krishna is already, promising us, and obviously, and Krishna says, don't fear. No fear. Don't fear that I will not remove any of your sins. So there is no doubt. So you will be perfected. So like that. So thank you, Prabhu. So Prabhu has brought water. Let me also use this water. And of course, Krishna says, how to seek water? How to seek Krishna? So you drink this water. This is tasty. So this taste of water is Krishna. So simply thinking like this, so you can become Krishna consciousness. Actually somebody asked, of course when initially in the beginning when this ISKCON movement, Hare Krishna movement started, at that time who were the disciples sitting in the classes? All these hippies. So hippies are got used to drinking wine, all doing all those things. They say, can we think of Krishna when we drink wine? He said, yes. Oh, this Victorian bitter is very tasty. Think of Krishna always because of Krishna. So you do keep on doing that, slowly you will become Krishna. You replace that Victorian bitter by Charnamrita. Okay, so this is a gradual approach. But anyway, so we can see Krishna this way also. So this taste of water from tap of Radha Vallabha. So this is like coming from spiritual world only. When we drink water in the temple, you don't think that I'm drinking Melbourne water. I'm drinking water from Vaikuntha Loka. Coming from, belongs to this embassy. This is embassy. Usually if you go to an American embassy, even though there is a small building, the moment you enter, inside the rules are like America. Even Australian police cannot go and catch you. Imagine you somehow you did some big crime and you run into that embassy. Now that wherever the border is, they can't enter. So that is the protection. That is called Aslam, seeking shelter. You are now taken shelter of American embassy. Now these Australian police can't go. This is very common. Sometimes people go and take shelter of Ecuador embassy. So they are very liberal. The moment you enter, okay, no problem, who are you? Okay, what is your name? Here is passport for you. We make you our country citizen. So sometimes people run into that. America is a bit difficult. So if you go now, now the new president, he will catch you and chain you, then send you back to wherever you come from. So that is now strict, but Ecuador is more easier. Anyway, don't think too much about Ecuador. So think of how to go back to Vaikuntha Loka. So be in Australia, be in Melbourne. So just do follow these Prabhupada's teachings of Bhagavad Gita, teaching of Lord Krishna, or teachings of your mother or a father. So teachings of your mother and father is not different from teaching from Krishna. Because they want you to become devotee and they want to become a good character person. They want you to read well so that you can also good job, earn good money. Then also engage in Krishna conscious activities. So that is the teaching. That's what Krishna is also teaching us. Okay? So teachings of parents are not different from teachings of Krishna. Please realize that. Okay? So Krishna doesn't have to tell. Krishna sends you a representative. The parents are representative until you become adult and independent. Now coming to this, the last line of this verse. Anartham Yubdesva iva. So here, so this, Yubdesva iva. That Yubdesva iva means just Vibhudesva, that is in the society of demigods. So, like demigods, when demigods say something or offer you a benediction or maybe curse, it can't go false. Anartham, that is the first anartham. Anartham means false promise, it's not a false promise, it's real. When they give benediction, it's real. What to speak of demigods? Even the munis, saintly persons, when they benedict you or curse you, either way, it will work. It can't go false. What to speak of those? Even the brahmanas, sometimes brahmanas also can curse. May not be the today's brahmanas, the previous brahmanas are very powerful. Sometimes brahmanas, when they get angry, brahmanas are not strong like Kshatriyas. What can they do maximum? They will take their thread. So this 2 cent thread, you can buy this cent for 2 cents. No? The value of thread is actually 2 cents. So this thread you can buy it for 2 cents or 1 cent only, unless you truly follow. If they become angry, they just do like this and they break this thread and then curse that person. Even those are also true. So here he's saying that, so Vasishtha Muni, whatever you benedicted or cursed, whatever you did, it could not go false. He's asking, so how is that, your words are false? So because even the demigod words are true. So Prabhupada actually start with that one only first. So he says this 18, he says, we have learned from many Vedic literatures that a benediction or curse given by the demigods never proves false. Never proves false. And if you go through, these examples in scriptures, previously in the science of God, so we learned about Hiranyakashipu did so much of tapas, remembering Lord Brahma. Brahma gave him benediction. Did the benediction become false? No. So he became very powerful, that Hiranyakashipu. So he became ruler of 3 worlds, controlled everybody. Not only controlled, he tried to control his son also. So whereas son wanted to become a devotee, and he was a devotee, but Hiranyakashipu doesn't want him to become a devotee of Lord Vishnu. So he tried to do so many things, including finally, climax was he tried to kill his own son, who was a devotee, who was under the protection of Supreme Lord. And how did he come under protection of Supreme Lord? Because he was always chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And that Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Supreme Lord name, has created a layer of protection around him. That is why when he was thrown into fire, holy celebration. Right now here in Melbourne, holy celebration is just throwing color only. In India, they will also burn Holika. So they burn. Sometimes they make effigy and burn so that, Prahlad is protected. So when the Prahlad was put into fire, who put into fire actually is Holika. The Holika said, okay, I have a benediction. What is my benediction? Even if I put into fire, my body will not burn. She told her brother Hiranyakasipu, brother, why are you worried? You tried to kill your son so many ways, nothing worked. But here is, I will assure you that I won't be get burned. So I will take this your son and sit down in meditation and hold your son very tightly, he's a small boy. Then you put full fire around. They tried to do. What happened? The result was actually, even though she had benediction, because she was trying to misuse her benediction, instead of using it for her protection, she wanted to burn to ashes that Prahlad Maharaj, but instead she got burnt. Then Prahlad came out, nothing happened to him. Because of that protection layer, Vishnu, protection, Kavacha. What is the Kavacha? Holy name. And it has to be very strong. We can't go and go to Radha Vallabha's kitchen and put our finger into that flame to see whether we are protected or not. So it may not work for us, but unless we become like a Prahlad Maharaj, till then don't experiment. So till then just follow instruction. Correct? Sometimes when the small babies, they start crawling, even though you tell them don't touch that heater, initially you pull their leg also. They don't do. One day they somehow in your absence they go and touch it and they burn. That day onward they will not touch it. I don't know anybody if you have experience. I have seen that with my own eye. My first daughter, Soumya. So when they're small, they were doing that. Then when it burned, then on they're very careful. They go near but not touch. It's always curious. So like that. Sometimes some kids take a needle. So when they take a needle, they have a habit. Simply try to insert into this. I try to pinch someone who is sitting in front. Sometimes they go there and insert into that socket, that one, to see how is it coming. We insert and think like this is powering. What is inside? They do that, then get a small shock. Some get a very high shock, then they will not do that anymore. Okay? Anyway, so the intelligent people, just by simply hearing from some others, they don't repeat. But those who are not intelligent, muddas, so they will experiment themselves and get some shock, then they do it. Here everybody intelligent. I have not seen kids inserting because they know. So, but sometimes, we are very curious. So human life is to be curious. Krishna says, inquisitive. The devotee must be inquisitive. Inquisitive for what? Not just experiment this kind of thing. Inquisitive. Who is this Krishna? Who is this Prabhupada? What is this book for? Let me read it. Be inquisitive, understand. So inquisitive to understand the higher things, higher purpose, higher knowledge is very important. So that is, you can see, then also, Durvasa Muni also is famous for benedicting and also famous for cursing. So Durvasa Muni has benedicted also. So he has given benediction to even Radharani. What is the benediction? Because Radharani has served here Durvasa Muni, so therefore he benediction. Benediction is that whoever eats, bhoga, prasada, made by you, that person longevity will increase. And he will be very healthy. And he will be sound mind. He will be protected. So that is the kind of benediction he has given. It worked. So when Yashoda Mata heard about this benediction, she thought, okay, this Krishna is, having so many troubles, so many demons are coming, causing so many problems. I don't know how long he will live. So how about, we request Radharani to make cooking, then we feed. Can she come to our house, some cook? So you see, the benediction works. Then other benediction, as you all know, Kunti Maharani. So Kunti Maharani served Durvasa Muni. So what did Durvasa Muni do? So he gave a benediction to her that whenever you remember any demigod, you will get a son. And here in this canto itself, so we have Kunti Maharani here, once he wanted to test, become inquisitive. Inquisitive, okay, now I got, this is what Durasamuni told me, she is a young girl, unmarried, but Durasamuni gave me such benediction, will it work? Sometime out of doubt. So let me remember Suryadev. And immediately Suryadev appeared here, you see. Now once you invoke a Suryadev, it can't go. So because of that, now she got a Karna as a baby. So benediction can be true. Then this same Durasamuni also cursed. As you all know, the previous canto is all about this Samudra Manthan, then curse of Durasamuni for Indra. When so this Durasamuni was wearing garland like this, so this was garland, the one which he was wearing, is like unique in the whole universe. So much of aromatic. And when you wear this garland, from that smell only you feel energetic. Some flowers you take, even here also, sometime when they offer, some of the flowers are so aromatic, you just want to keep taking that. Even if you are thirsty or hungry, just by smell, it gives you energy. Imagine, the whole garland was so much aromatic, so much of nutrients. Just putting this garland, you can speak for 7 days, just like Sukadeva Goswami, non-stop. This Śrīmad Bhāgavatam has spoken 7 days, non-stop. And recipient was Parikshita Muni. 7 days. You can wonder, how is that? They didn't even drink a sip of water, didn't take any prasada, simply no rest. 7 days continue going. So if you have such that garland that Durasamuni is wearing, and if that garland is given to me, and also given to all of you, we can have this 7 days continuous Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, without no fatigue also. Otherwise, leg will pain, we want to do this, do that. So such one. Anyway, so he got from one of the Apsara, and then while walking he come across, as you all know, Indra, and he thought, okay, out of good mood, he said, Indra, take it. So what did Indra do? Instead of putting on his neck, he put it on the Airavat, his carrier, elephant. Elephant, of course, by nature, it's also felt intoxicated when it moved its nose, and it took it, and in the intoxication, he thrown it in front of Durasamuni. Then Durasamuni cursed him. Oh, you demigods have become very proud. So all this, your strength will decrease. And because of it, they lost the kingdom also. You can see the curse works. So this is what Prabhupada says. In the Vedas, in scriptures, you've got many examples of demigods. Benediction or curse never went false. This is an example. Then many other examples are there. Even the Lord Shiva has given many benediction to many persons. Even just positively, Markandeya Muni. This Markandeya Muni, when he was born, what was his lifespan given? Only 16 years. After 16 years, finished. He will die. So Yamaraj came to pick him up. 16 years. Already your time has come. Let's go to my abode. So then this Markandeya Muni is holding Shiva, Shivalinga. So he became Shiva Bhakta so much. So Shiva is impressed. He says, okay, I will extend your life. You become almost like a immortal. You can stay as many years as you want. Millions and billions as the world. And you always remain 16 years. And later in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam you will see when there was a inundation, that is a pralaya. At that time this Markandeya Muni also is going in pralaya here and there, everywhere, tossing. And one day he saw one banyan tree near one banyan leaf on which one baby is happily sucking the toe. He says, this is Krishna. Then he wake up, oh, here is Krishna. Pralaya finished. So many, almost like immortal. So how? This is a benediction. The bhakti was appreciated by Shiva. So you can see. And what to speak of those, even you come down to the name that we are familiar with. So Ishvara Puri, disciple of Madhavendra Puri. And the Ishvara Puri is such a nice disciple of Madhavendra Puri. And he served him so much to the last breath. And he makes sure that his Gurudev, Madhavendra Puri, leaves his body. At that time he was hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And who is here? This Ishvara Puri is reading, chanting Not only the serving, because this Madhavapuri at that time became almost invalid, and then he was passing stool, urine, malamutra, and who is cleaning? Iswara-puri, plus enlightening the Guru. So because of that, Madhavapuri benedicted him, that you achieve the love of Godhead, supreme love of Godhead, now only, full prema. And what is the result of that prema? Of course he achieved the prema, he was Satchidananda already. Not only that, even our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the supreme God himself, he has taken Diksha from Iswara-puri. Of course, Krishna doesn't have to take a Diksha from any of us, any of the Munis, but he is showing us a path. So if you are appeared here in a Manushya form, human form, you still need to take a Guru and to give us teachers. Krishna also taken. So from Garg Muni. So he also taken Diksha, he also followed those principles. So therefore they are setting a direction. Whatever great person does, other will follow. So Krishna was such a famous, he also taken Diksha, he also followed this, therefore we also do it. Because Krishna did it, so we should do it at least. So like that. So that also happened. Even the Prabhupada, coming to Prabhupada Guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, he said, benedict you go and preach this Krishna consciousness in all the Western countries, everywhere. Prabhupada thinking, oh, this Guru is giving such a blessing, I don't think I have a capacity to do it. He postponed until 60, 65. Then finally decided to take up. Now Guru Maharaj has come. Guru Maharaj has told me this is a benediction. You see? So it's possible. Similarly, any of us also benedicted by our Gurus, we should also be able to do it. So of course it's up to us. We should also take seriously. So then, the third one which we'll discuss and conclude. Kuta Sankalpa Vaishamayam. So this Sankalpa means determination. Whoa. Usually if you go to some of our South Indian, say Aradhana festival, so you go there first, say, please do some Sankalpa, they say. So there will be one Brahmin sitting there, you go and sit in front of him, then he will ask you to, Sankalpa. So today I will remember Lord, I will perform puja, I want to purify, some Sankalpa, determination, this Sankalpa. So here in this case, Vasishtha Muni, these Munis are who knows absolute truth. And what was the Sankalpa? They said we will perform yajna to award you a son. That was the Sankalpa. Otherwise, why they are performing yajna? Yajna is performed to Varuna Deva and Mitra, Varuna and Mitra. So, and then king means he hosted a big yajna program, so many priests, so much of opulent place, so much of investment of time, money, energy, effort, and austerity. What is the austerity? The wife, Shraddha, she was, simply living on little milk only for many, many days. She is going over. And here king also, so much of austerity they performed, plus all the sankalpa to perform this yajna successfully, so that he can get a son who will become next king. Because at that time king didn't have that, Vyavastha Manu, he didn't have a son or a daughter. So therefore he was performing. So now he has sankalpa. Sankalpa, Vyasmayam. So here, Vyasmayam means, why this sankalpa didn't become successful? What is the discrepancy? He is asking question. Then how is it possible that your determination has failed? So Vasishtha Muni said, okay, I will perform and make sure that you get a son. And how is that your determination has failed? He is questioning. Kuta means, why? Now, as we discussed, you know absolute truth. You are, you controlled your senses, you control your mind fully in service of Lord. Then you tapas, you burnt all the sins into ashes, sinless person, pure person. Then your promise is like a demigod's promise, everything should be successful, whatever you say. But however, now we see opposite result. What is the opposite result? Instead of getting a son, so he was blessed with a daughter. As previous verse says, initially he was happy, he performed Tottila program, in that program where you give a naming ceremony also, gave Ila, but that happiness was very short-lived. He was not fully Atma Tattvavadi. He was not fully, this king at that time, he was not fully Tattvavadi. Still he is also hankering, lamenting, oh, I want a son who will carry my lineage. We also have, correct? Oh, we only have daughter. Our name will not be carried. Because we think if son is there and he will carry our name to a great height, because of that we may become famous, or at least somebody will remember us as a grandfather, a father of so and so. All this our attachment for puja, pratishtha. Why are we asking for all our, so much? We want our lineage. Even though some lineage may be coming from Krishna to it's progressing, but still we want our branch to continue. Preferably our branch to be more powerful than Krishna's branch. So like that, so that when the next Bhagavatam is written, so our name will appear in the Bhagavatam. All these desires will be there, puja, pratishtha. Or if not in the Bhagavatam, maybe in the history book our name will be there, material history book. So and so person had a son and who became a Prime Minister of Australia, and very good, and how great the father is, like that you expect. So in this case that's happening. So the result became opposite. So therefore inquiring. So why this sankalpa? So end up getting opposite result. He's questioning. Then we can always discuss to get an answer. So just next one doesn't have any purport, but I want to read that so that it's become clear. So it was already clear that discrepancy was from, maybe we leave it to the next devotee. One verse is better. So as in the previous verse it says that just before Vasishtha Muni ordered all the priests, now offer the bhoga. Just before that, his wife of the Shraddha Dev went and requested one of the priests, can you please pray so that I get daughter? So just before offering, so he remembered the request, then he chanted a mantra that will award. Even one priest is enough, because discrepancy is visible more clear. Imagine we painted this completely white. Even if there is one small dark chukki, one small, that is visible very much. If you are wearing a white shirt or a white dhoti, even if there is a small dark, let me see. Sometimes it happens. See here, here one dhoti. Once I jumped in Jagannath Yatra, and then from there the mud fell here, not going at all. Even I put the washing it, not going at all. You see? So the dark is very visible, even though the dhoti is big. But this dark spot, I always keep looking at it, thinking how do I remove it? I'm not able to remove it at all. So here, like that one priest, discrepancy in chanting, instead of chanting, award me a son, he chanted, award my king daughter request. So that priest actually followed it and happens. This happens in our own life also. Say for example, our house we wanted to paint. So the painter, contract is given. I told him the door frame should be as it is, the current is green. I want it to be green shiny. And the door is painted with reddish color, like a blood reddish color. Please paint that only. And then this fence will be painted like this. That's the agreement. Then after I come back, it's all changed. It is looking white and some other color. I asked him, what is this? He said, no, your wife told me to do those color. And whom do I question? I can't question. You can see it happens here also. So what to speak of in Yajna? So even in simple activities at home, so we have one plan. And then finally the people who are performing those activity, whether the painting or laying or whatever they are doing, and they will do as per the instruction of Home Minister. Finance Minister ignored. Prime Minister ignored. All Minister ignored. Home Minister followed. Same thing happened here also. You can see. So as a result, so they end up getting a daughter, Ila. Of course, Vasishtha Muni is definitely powerful. So later verses you will see that he chanted, glorified Lord Vishnu, requested him to make, can you please turn this Ila into a boy? And Lord, of course, when a devotee, a pure devotee requests, Lord will say, no problem. Huh? So this is just like changing. Oh Lord, my shirt has become very old. Can you give me new shirt? No problem, take new shirt. Or my body is old and giving me so much trouble. I think about you. Next time give me some better body. As Krishna says, so you can change this body. And of course now you want suppose you get a boy or a girl. Now you see the boy himself will say, no, I don't want to be a boy. I want to be a girl. So in Australia, so you go and make a case that I have a tendency to be a female. They say, no problem, you will sex change. Now it's happening, correct? Earlier you had to pray to Supreme Lord. So by the benediction of Supreme Lord or by the benediction of like Vasishtha Muni, you can change the sex from male to female, female to male. All this you can do. You will hear later verses have even more interesting. So how you can even become a 1 month male, another month female, like this switching. No need to go to any medical doctor. So by blessing from, say for example, Shiva can happen. So those are there. So that Vasishtha Muni power is illustrated there. So that is what the chapter title. You are wondering why this chapter title is called King Sudumna becomes a woman. First he was already a woman. I mean, that soul assumed the body of Ila, Suman, a female. And then became male. Then became female. Then became, this is continued. So Krishna says this is just like changing a body. And those who are Atma Vadis, those who know the Atma truly, then they don't lament about this body form. Till then we'll be lamenting. Okay? Okay, so with that let me stop here, and just to conclude, you can see the Lord Devotee's words and benedictions are as powerful as benedictions of Supreme Lord itself. And which kind of devotees? Devotees who have a perfect knowledge of absolute truth, devotees who are performing perfect tapas, devotees who are yuktasya, who are regulated in their eating, sleeping, recreation and defending and all those things. Because of that, they can maintain a healthy body, and because of that, they can be yogi. And therefore, if you want to become a yogi, especially bhakti yogi, we have to regulate our eating. Krishna, Prabhupada says, the Shastra says, regulate eating means eat prasada. Also don't eat voracious. Eat prasada to an extent where you can digest. Otherwise, we'll have all kinds of health problem, this problem. Then we can't chant also. So therefore, the regulation is necessary. So that is Vasishtha Muni has demonstrated. Then he says, he glorified his qualities very nicely. So that is what we discussed in the first this verse. With that, let me stop here. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any more comment or question? All right, no problem. So Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki Jai, Hare Krishna. So next you can go and enjoy Mahaprasada and regulated.